Hi, LTV Canada from Ottawa. I can't focus. Like, I'm so disheveled. I suffer from attachment disorder and post-traumatic stress disorder, among other health issues. I can't focus on one topic because I'm so hurt that my zeal or anger, which calms down and goes back to love, which is why it's called zeal. The point is, I can't stay focused on just one issue of all the issues I'm in Ottawa over that I have struggled through my life with. I never had virginity the first time experience. The first time I went out on a date with somebody, I was 9 years old. I asked him out on a date, and I paid for the pizza, and his name was Stefan. Apparently, my mother says he came to knock on the door to ask about me once after we went for pizza. I never saw him again. But no guy has actually traditionally taken me out on a date and dropped me off on the doorstep and left me there to take me out on a date another day. I never had the chance to have that kind of normal like all of you have, or many of you have, which is not as many in Canada as there is in the States, because they care more about their women. They love their women more. There's less problem over there. Henceforth, where I'm going with this. Example, the first person I married, the first time I tried to tie the knot, the very first time we slept together was a form of rape. It was sexual assault. I was 19 years old, slept on his floor for 3 days. On the fourth day, he took the stranger that he had brought in for a place to stay on the fourth day to his bed. And he says, take your clothes off, take your pants off, because he wants to sleep with me. He wants to proceed to have intercourse, because everything with Satan, everything with Lucifer, everything is a sexual emergency. I say, no, I don't feel right. This doesn't feel right. I don't want to do this right now. I want to get my own place and get a job and get to know you slowly. He didn't listen. He went ahead and helped himself anyway. That's all the love I knew. That was the kindest person at that point in my personal life that I had understood and then decided, I guess that was the closest thing I'm ever going to get to the kind of quality, love, and respect I deserve. I stayed with him until I was 28. It took me almost 10 years to leave the guy. And he's ruined 20 years of my life, and our oldest and our only child is now 20, who now hates me, but I've never done anything to hurt that person, to make this person want to hate me. There's no reason. I've never, ever done anything. Never grounded, never, ever yelled, swear, nothing like that. Okay, so now she says, I love him more. What system in anywhere in the world allows a man access who's abusive to the child to an ongoing point where you can make the child turn against the caregiver and the lover and the mother to the father? It's not right. A system like that needs to be changed. This needs to be stopped. You have to understand that Satan, Lucifer, the demigods, the Nephilim, those antichrists are in multitude around us. They are, some of them, untangible because they're not in body form like us. And they will continue to abuse and assault whenever and however they can, searching for souls like flying things. Okay? I was raped a lot, not once, but many times. In Winnipeg, there are these names, because in Boston they had a shaming policy where a person who's committed certain crimes would walk around wearing signs on their chests so that the neighborhood and community could know and be forewarned of who's there and what they can do, whether they want to move or not, because of the trying to protect their kids. But I was gangbanged at 12 by Corey Bandusiak, by Mike Bandusiak, by their cousin Jerry Bandusiak. I was tortured and tormented for months, and on a second occasion in a different location, Corey Bandusiak proceeded to rape me again. There were witnesses. There were people standing in the doorway of the bedroom watching as my life was falling apart as a child. My legs were up in the air, and this guy thought this situation was a game. Some sort of fun situation, getting egged on by the boys. One of the witnesses I can remember the name of is Mark Dutiam, whose sister was also guilty of abusing me, ongoing torment for over a year, living next door to me in a housing situation through provincial housing. In Winnipeg. Okay, at 17, again, another guy named AIME Park, whose nickname is Bucky Park, whose relatives are Raymond Culleton, Melanie Culleton, Amanda Culleton, Danny something or other. Right? The point is, your cousin raped me. He had premeditated. He had borrowed a room from a person who lived in a motel on a monthly rate in advance and got me to chase him to that place, closed the door, locked it behind him, told me to take my pants off, and proceeded to ejaculate inside of me because he wanted to win. He wanted to be more important. He wanted to be better than his cousin because his cousin always gets the girl. And that's his mental mind frame behind deciding to ruin my life. At 14, in between that, there was a boy named John that tried to coerce me into his house, lock his door, again, same scenario, and get me alone in his room. And I said at that point in my life, oh my God, not again. But I've blacked out. I remember his pants dropping to the floor. I don't remember how I got out of the house or when I left or how I got home. But I'm still here today. I'm alive, but I'm barely breathing. Then the man that I was supposed to be my husband, was supposed to be love, abused me for multiple years because I didn't know how to stand up for what love was, because I was being taught and conditioned by Canada and the way it breeds its women and how they treat them, that it's okay to be treated the way I've just been treated. And it's not. More than half the women in this country get raped. Less than half report it. And then I got raped again by Sarah's father, Bruce David Wayne Johnson, in Terrace, British Columbia. I said no. He said, well, I want to. I said, well, if I fight you, then you're going to physically hurt me and it's going to be worse. So obviously I thought it's easier to not have all my belongings be trashed and have big, huge problems. So I went with it. It was then. It was only then, on the 8th time of being raped, it was only then that I learned at that point what I was doing wrong by being conditioned in a way to accept being abused multiply, which is what makes it possible for girls to be prostitutes after they've been raped. Okay, now I'm 42 and I've been divorced since I was 28 years old. And I have never had a new boyfriend. I've never had a new one-night stand of any kind where somebody showed me compassion and love and held me in their arms at all since all of this. And I'm supposed to accept that this is normal, that this is the way women are supposed to think, feel, act, and live. You're supposed to put up with laying on your back for free and letting people ruin your life, kill you, destroy you, rape you, change you. Change the person that you had the right to be, that you never got to be. Take away all of your innocence, all your virtue. It's not okay. I should have been remarried by now. There should have been lots of guys up and down the street and around the corner asking a girl like me out on a date. I'm a wonderful person. I'm compassionate. I'm passionate. I'm exciting. I'm happy. I'm adventurous. I have lots of ambition and goals. But nobody's helping anybody. Everybody just wants to turn a cold shoulder. Only when it happens to them will they're going to make a difference. Only then will it care. Only then will they want help. I was trying to have a certain level of privacy. I was trying to have a certain way of having part of my life kept to myself so I could get with the right people to make a difference. But I'm learning that that's not going to help me in this country because there's such badness all the way through this place that they were knocking off the women and children one at a time and getting away with it, paying themselves, lining their pockets. The same thing with medicine and health in Canada. That you have to have sick people so they continue to get paid. If you have a cure, you're going to make it hard and difficult and impossible for a person to receive that cure so that you have a smaller a workload of patients because you don't want the smaller load. You prefer to have all that money coming in. Well, that's not right. That's not what progress is for. If gynecologists can be put out of business, then we should be going through with that. Whatever that situation is, whatever that answer is. I came to Ottawa, and I've tried several times to reach with Justin Trudeau. I've tried to reach 4 different senators, where Larry Campbell was one of them, and Senator Patrick Brazeau was another. The other 2 were women. I can't think of the names at the top of their head. I've tried to go to City Hall twice, and one of those times, City Hall actually said, we can get a hold of Justin Trudeau for you, but we're not going to. We will not help you. If you want to reach Justin Trudeau, you're going to have to spend the money you have to try to get a hold of him for yourself. But I don't have any money because I haven't had a security contract in over 2 years because all these refugees are coming in and getting paid for less to do these jobs and making it impossible for the people that are here, that belong here, that should have first dib on jobs to get jobs. I am not willing, as a Canadian-born citizen, I am not willing to put out 100 different resumes and go to 20 different interviews before I finally get hired for minimum wage. I'm above minimum wage trades and skills, and I'm priority. I'm precedent. It takes a couple of phone calls to put somebody like me with my qualifications out into the workforce and get me working. It is wrong for me to be sitting here unemployed and broke, wondering how I'm going to pay my bills because I'm about to lose everything that's sentimental of any value to me because of the ongoing badness, the darkness. When people come to this country, they should be able to pass a profile test, psychological profile, to know what it means to be Christian, to believe in God, to know why Jesus died for your sins and what coming to this country means, to know to adapt and change to what's going on here, not to try to pollute this place and create more victims and more crime. It's not the answer. So I have a hard time trying to focus on one topic of all these things because my life is rattled in between all of these issues. But what I'm telling you, people, is that I was trying to reach Tom Welling when he was still married to Jamie White. I was trying to give him a baby to give up for adoption, and don't you try telling me that he wouldn't have accepted that baby into his life and adopted her. She should have grown up on the set of the Smallville TV show. 4 seasons of that. I should have had a break in the TV industry and writing episodes for certain TV shows. That was just one of them. Being the bodyguard, having an armored car, having a bulletproof vest, having a taser and a gun, and the first one in an industry that we're lacking in the updates in, setting a precedent and becoming a staple in teaching so I could train more people to do the same thing. I got into security because of the fact that I have been victimized all of my life, been a victim since all of this started as a kid, before I was even raped and gangbanged by those 2 brothers and that cousin. I had other things go on in my life, but that made me turn into security because I'm realizing people need help, people need protection. And it's not there. So that made me turn to this. But it wasn't until I got to Sarah's dad that I'm like, oh my God, enough. I need to rethink. I need to get mad and stay focused on why I'm allowed to be mad in order to get justice. And in all that effort across the country that I have tried to do, going to places in person, of results of nothing, no reporter sitting down to talk with me, to let me tell my story to, for them to air it so the right people get it, so the right results happen. This is wrong. You don't have the right to play God with people's lives. And crime is a crime, and when a crime's been committed, you need to seek justice. I don't have any money for lawyers for them to be arrested, but lawyers are allowed to watch this and get in touch with me to say, you will help me arrest those people and have charges laid against them. And it's easier for them to confess, yes, we are guilty of this, so that they can, reduce sentences, the Canadian standard puts it. Although my books, as far as I'm concerned, anybody that's raped once deserves to be castrated. We don't have to forgive for that. There's no way in hell you'd ever catch me putting my hand up in the air with my rapist and say, I have forgiven. We have written a book together. We're going to get famous together. We're going to share our story together, and we're going to rise to the top together. No, man, you cut his dick off. You lock him up for life. Give him the death sentence, but you don't release them to continue to rape and sexually assault more people again and again and again. And that's all that's happening. And you know what that does? It breeds more violence. Violence breeds violence. Rape breeds rape. So what happens is the kids grow up to be rapists themselves. And that's not a life. You can't say this is a good country or safe country. I don't even know how many other women haven't spoken up, haven't said the names, haven't come forward. I don't know how many women have similar first-time sexual experiences like the one I described about my oldest daughter's father taking my life when I didn't know that the answer was to get up and say no and run from his house and run down the street screaming, no, no, no. You know, at 42, I can't do that now because if I go running outside saying, no, 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 and I'm naked running down the street, somebody's raped me because the post-traumatic stress disorder has taken me this long to react to what I didn't know how to react to when I was just a little kid, then I'll be the one that gets arrested and charged with public nuisance. That's wrong. I'm going to go pay for my bus pass. I'm going to go have something to eat. I'm going to go get my nails done. Then I'm going to come back and hope that there's some progress with the video viewing of the things I'm posting on here. No is not an option. I matter. I'm important. My story deserves to be heard. I've been trying to get a hold of Donald Trump since he got into office, because if he opened up that side of the border and let the people from this side out that want to leave, that do not believe and do not back and do not want what Justin is doing to this country, to be in here anymore, well, you'll be surprised that I wouldn't be the only one leaving. What do you call it? Political asylum, the other way. The people that don't believe in what the Liberals are doing didn't vote for Justin. Technically, he shouldn't be Prime Minister. He's just a designate because there was a lack of voting in the first place. But I'll come back and read from the stats I collected for that later. I'm going to go out. Peace out. I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. But as that song says, the Superman thing, even heroes have the right to believe. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to try to be perfect, claim to be perfect, but I've done the best that I can, and writing superhero stuff is a pretty darn place to be. That's a nice top. for all the life I've suffered through in this place. To have written Supergirl 2, 3, and 4, trying to reach Gene Hackman and Richard Donner while they're still alive so they can give me little red marks and grade my paper and get involved with my work. To finish the Smallville movie as a Canadian, being a Canadian, to be the ones who do the Smallville movie, award-winning material, well, that's awesome. Aces up. People should be helping me reach that, because if you do that for me, then I come back and I help you. Then there's work in Canada. Then our dollar goes up. But I have to get to the place I need to be. I need to reach the people I need to reach. I don't care on what side of the border who arrests these people that have raped me. It could be American police officers, FBI. I don't care. It can be Canadians. I don't care. But it's going to happen. You're going to help me do it. Peace out, Superwoman. Now TV, Ottawa, Canada.